Hi Sameer, welcome to my very first episode of TPOD. So, first of all, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this podcast is nothing political. I hope
So the
you're
thing
fine
is,
with
I
it.
can't make that promise because when you spend close to 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, just researching about politics, studying about politics, understanding how the world works, and realizing how messed up it is truly, there is nothing that occupies your mind more. And because of that, I really feel like I've forgotten small talk. I really have. I don't know how to make conversation anymore. So probably this podcast will be a good reminder for me to have
You
small
wake
talk.
up and are like, okay, I'm going to talk about this today.
That's a very interesting question. I don't. I actually don't. But I tell you what, I think I start thinking about politics every time I take a bath.
Shit.
Like when I'm bathing.
I totally get you. I totally
Yeah,
get you.
right? Because
That's
it's so
your
much peace.
creative space.
Yeah, it's like so
Creative
much peace.
You're like with yourself and one with the universe and all
Yeah.
that. You manifest, it'll happen, trust me.
So-
when you're in the bathroom and you think about something, it'll happen.
So sometimes when I'm bathing, I have like really good tweet ideas, okay? Like it's become that problematic.
God.
Like I'm bathing, I'm like, that will be a very good one-liner.
Oh God, yeah. So that's about it. So we're not going to be talking anything political. I hope it's not.
As I said, I'll try.
Yeah. It's not a disappointment for your followers. So
They'll be
to
fine.
begin with, how did CIVITAS SAMEER start? What was it about? Did you just randomly have a crazy idea and like, okay, fine, we're going to start posting videos today? And it blew up. It's doing fairly well, and I see a lot of people engaging with your content. People send it to me and say, see, listen to this. And I'm like, bro, that's my friend. I have listened to this forever now. So that's happened. So
Yeah.
really that happened. So how did it actually start?
Yeah, so before we say anything, I just want to say that my audience is like truly amazing. I think I've amassed a truly unique set of
Nice.
audience because there's a good mix of right wingers, there's a good mix of left wingers. You have people from all across the spectrum, and I think that was the aim of my channel too, because I want to really break this traditional right-left barrier and come to the common understanding that yes, we do want certain things in common. That was the goal. Now, when it comes to my interest in politics, I've been interested in politics since like forever.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know that.
like ever since I was a kid, like I'm talking since like 8th grade, I've been interested in politics, and it was something that came very natural to me, and I think it's partly because of my school.
Okay.
So my school used to take us for these competitions called Model UN competitions, and that was
Fun.
where So I actually got into geopolitics before I got into domestic politics.
Oh, nice.
So I came like from a top-down approach, but that was my interest, and I was very interested in all these kinds of things. And eventually, what happened was I figured out that I have no one to talk to because people are bored of me talking to them. I think I've bored almost all of my friends, including you, many
yeah.
times. So I realized, you know
Tell
what?
me about it. I'm like, every time I'm like, oh yeah, this is there, this is classic Sameer. We're just
like-
meeting him for now through reels. Imagine me sitting right in front of him.
Like literally, I remember like in college, every time I would come for a short break or lunch break in the canteen and everything, it's like only my table is discussing such heavy topics
Oh,
like
yeah.
feminism and like stuff like that, and then the other topics are like, bro, what do you have for breakfast, bro? What do you have for lunch? And I said, and the thing is, maybe I've always been this way, but I don't really focus on small talk. But as of now, the problem is getting a lot bigger because I really cannot talk to anyone
Your
apart from
small
anything.
talks is this.
My small talks is
this
politics,
is
yeah.
your small talk.
Yeah.
People have different small talks themselves. So now, leave all of that aside. Leave the Instagram and all of that. So my channel, or the way I want to take this podcast forward, is talk about you. What did you? Tell me everything about
You
yourself.
want my story essentially?
Yes. And I love stories.
So I'm a born and brought up in Bangalore guy. I
Perfect.
love my city. I think most of my memories are from here. I did my schooling in the school called Deccan International School.
Oh, nice.
South Bangalore, and South Bangalore is the best part of Bangalore.
Okay, now
I don't
all the Deccan International kids. hit me up.
Yeah. They don't really like me, but okay. So, I mean, the thing is that I'm a South Bangalore kid, okay? And I've just always been like, I love South Bangalore more than North Bangalore. I know it's a very controversial opinion to have, but it's just so much more
I'm
calmer.
just being nice to you. I'm just being
Like,
nice.
if anything beyond Jayanagar, south of Jayanagar, I think it's amazing. Like Jayanagar is also pretty good. But
You
south of
saved
Jayanagar is just
yourself that
better.
way.
Jayanagar is also pretty good. I'm in Jayanagar right now, so I can't say anything. So with that being said, I had a very happy childhood. Like I'm very lucky to have been born in a very good family.
That's nice.
My dad, my mom always been very supportive of me ever since I was a child. And as I said, I've always been interested in politics and extracurricular activities and stuff like debating, talking, public speaking since like 8th grade.
You've always been there.
I've always been there, and my interest really peaked in 2016. Actually, that was when my interest started to like really pick up and peak. And then as I said, I've been cancelled before. I talked about this on my Instagram also. I've been cancelled before. This is not the first time I'm getting cancelled for anything, but I've been cancelled before, and it actually happened in in 8th grade, in I think it was after 10th. So after 10th, we had COVID happening. Okay, and what happened was, I was in college and I was just bored. I was just sitting at home bored, and I decided, you know what? Let me start writing a blog post. And I wrote a blog post about this topic regarding gender theory. And I said that maybe it's not right. I don't agree with it.
How
Very controversial
controversial.
topic. I didn't know what I was expecting. All right. So I wrote this huge blog post, and I was just being an autistic kid. I wasn't like, didn't have any intention of blowing up or whatever. I just did
being
what.
yourself.
Yeah, I was just being myself, just expressing myself. Now, the thing is, that particular post got a lot of traction, unnecessary traction, to be honest. A lot of people started hating on me. One of my own school friends, whom I thought were like very good friends of mine.
That's mean. That's mean.
I mean, it's it
for
is.
a kid to handle that,
Oh yeah,
it's really
yeah.
mean.
So I mean, it was a tough period. It was definitely a tough phase because on one hand I open my phone and I'm getting death threats and everything.
Oh shit.
Like yeah, dude. Like
Real, for real.
for real.
Oh.
Okay, and like this is like not a joke, right? Because people know where I live. These are my friends. They know where I live, and they're telling
So
their
your friends were the ones who were.
I mean,
What
I wouldn't say my friends. I would say my acquaintances or my contacts in school. I have really good friends from school. I'm not going to deny that. Like my school friends are like, we're tight. We're like boys. We hang out like every single day. Not those guys. I'm saying outside my friend circle, like the people, my classmates or whatever. They were the ones who started posting about it, putting on their stories, and they were shaming me for it. And you know what? I don't mind. Okay, like it was not like I hated the hate. But what happened, right? I think where it crossed the line for me was that, dude, I'm a kid, okay? Like, I don't know shit. I don't know how the world works. I didn't know what to expect. And when I'm opening my phone and seeing death threats, it definitely became a problem. And then what happened was, very luckily, there's this Australian comedian called Isaac Butterfield. He's an amazing comedian, by the way. You can give him a watch. He's a conservative comedian. He's a politically conservative comedian. And he makes very edgy jokes and stuff like that. His fan page actually picked up my my post. And they saw that in the comments, people were bashing me left, right, center.
So they backed you up.
Oh yeah, they backed me up. And now I have a bunch of Australian guys flooding my comment
With
section.
an Australian accent and all that.
No, I mean, they're just commenting, right? And the thing is, they're literally like bashing my own school classmates. So I'm just sitting there like, what's happening? But yeah, I think at that time period, it was like too much for me. So I deleted that post and I deleted my account at that time. And 7 years later, I'm back.
Oh, finally, you're
7
back.
years later, I'm back.
A
Yeah,
lot of people are glad that you're back.
I hope
Very
so.
strong opinions, and it's really nice to see somebody with such strong opinions. Okay, so speaking of growing up, did you have any insecurities growing up? Because that's what I want to talk about,
Yeah.
right? I want to talk about insecurities. I want to talk about people failing. People, it's okay to fail. I'm going to talk about all of that in this podcast. So growing up, did you have these major inferiorities that was, probably you didn't have it, people told you about it. Did you have that? How did you tackle that?
Every kid has insecurities.
Correct.
I think
Makes sense.
yeah, I think anyone would lie if they say they didn't have insecurities. I had my own fair share too. And one of my biggest insecurities as a kid was that I wasn't doing the things that an average boy would be doing. And what I mean by
Explain.
that, what I mean by that is, like, let's say the cool kid in my class or the cool kid in my school was the guy who played sports, was the guy who who ran fast. I mean, this is like kid stuff, right? I was never into that kind of stuff. What I was into is intellectualism. I was into studying. I was into intellect, and a lot of people would shame me as nerd, but that's okay. Like I never minded it. But then slowly I realized that I kind of think that my pursuit into, at least as a kid, was that my pursuit into intellectualism was a response to me not being good at anything else.
Okay.
So, like, I realized that I need to better myself mentally. I need to better myself, from the perspective of, okay, am I a smart person? Am I an intellectual person? And I
found your ground.
I found my ground. I really did. And debating was also where I found my ground. Public speaking was also where I found my ground. And I deviated that way. And I think that's the answer to most people's insecurities, in my opinion. I think you need to be able to find your ground and stick with it. You are not going to be good at everything. You are not going to be amazing at everything, right? You are not going to be excellent at everything. You don't need to excel at everything. You find your lane, you stick to it, you become great in that, and I think eventually people will start to recognize you for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Now tell me, how does it matter that, I didn't play sports in school? It doesn't matter at all. Like, it doesn't matter at all. So I think that once you find your lane and once you stick to it, I think things can change.
Growing up, your perspectives changed like crazy, because I also remember when I was really young, like when I was in school, being cool had a different definition.
Yeah.
Thinking about it is back to stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's nice that
I mean, if I were to explain it something, I think it was more like you had to present yourself
Peer
in a certain
pressure.
way. It was like you had to front yourself, and I was never interested in fronting myself. I never interested in projecting an image of somebody that I was not, because I think that is the greatest disservice that you can do to yourself. if you're fronting to the entire world that you are somebody that you are not, then it's not only the greatest
It
disservice.
becomes so tiring, no?
It becomes tiring to keep
Very
up that
tiring.
image, and you lose your soul. Like you lose what made you unique in the first place. When you lie to yourself for so long, I think you end up internalizing those lies.
Makes
right?
sense.
You internalize those lies and you become that person, even though you know you're not.
See, becoming that person who is not you is one thing, but there are good things also. No, when you idolize a person, you tend to follow them and you try to. For example,
Mm-hmm.
you have a best friend in school. You talk to them and you catch on to their accent. You
Yeah.
catch on to all of
Yeah.
that they do.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's good.
I think the difference is it natural or are you trying to force yourself
Fake
to do
it,
it?
correct.
Yeah. So for me, I would say definitely my friends had an influence on me, like 100%. I wouldn't be who I am without my buddies from school. But it was natural. It wasn't like I was
Forced
trying.
upon.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be like them. Just hanging out with them, I think I observed a lot of their good qualities. Yeah, definitely.
That's good. That's in a way that's good. So having your individual personality is as important as actually you evolving as a person, is
Yeah,
irrespective of how
yeah.
you do it. Like
Yeah.
you look at somebody and you learn, or
Yeah.
you just inflict it on yourself. It's different.
I think that's one of the problems that this generation faces, is that we focus too much on individualism, and we focus too less on actually socializing with people and learning from them, right? It's this insane drive to maintain your so-called individuality, but the reality is that your individuality is nothing but a outcome of your shared experiences in your life, right? If your parents were probably different parents, you wouldn't be who you are.
Makes
If you were
sense.
born in a
They are
different
a
house,
different parent to my brother. What are you saying? I'm the first child. Oh
exactly.
my god.
So because of that, a lot of things, and I think that a lot of peace can be found by a lot of people if you just realize that you are a product of your environment, and if you change your environment, you can definitely change. And even with this whole insecurity thing, yeah, it's good to have certain insecurities in the sense that you know where you lack, you know what's good for you, you know what's bad for you. Like for example, if there's somebody and they're little overweight like me.
Yeah, I was about to get to that.
So it's fine. Like I know, okay, I need to lose
Physical
weight. I need to, yeah.
insecurities.
But I didn't take it as a negative thing. I don't take it as a negative thing and say, oh my God, like look at me, I don't look
It
good.
didn't put you down.
Yeah, like
basically.
it doesn't matter. It's my life, it's my body, and I'm gonna fix it the way I want to fix it.
How long did it take for you to get to that mindset?
Oh, it took me quite some time.
Yeah,
It took
and
me quite some time.
what got you to that mindset?
Okay, so maybe until, I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, maybe until 12th grade, I was very
That's a
insecure.
long time.
Yeah, I was very insecure because it happens, right? So my school and my PU college environment were like two different worlds, and because of that, it was a huge culture shock for me. So my school was like an international school; it had people who spoke very good English, and when I came to my PU college, the environment was very different. But it was, I'm not saying it's
Was it a
bad.
shock?
It was definitely a culture
Okay.
shock. Like I'm an ICSE kid, right? I'm the guy who would say,
And you
oh,
went to PUC.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, shit.
It's not even about that. It's like I'm saying, oh, it's so melancholic to like think about it, and they're like, what? Okay. So it was a culture shock.
With all due respect.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a good thing because I was exposed to a different
you
kind
get
of.
picked on for that too.
Yeah,
You get
yeah,
picked on for
yeah,
that too.
Yeah, that was that. But again, as I said, it was a good thing. I don't look at it as a negative thing. Even though it was a tough time period, I think it was necessary because I needed to understand
shape
how
you.
the world works. Like I need to understand that I'm not the only guy living on this earth. There are people around me with different mentalities, and I should be able to gel with all of them. I can't just sit here and be in my own world and say, oh, this is how I am and this is the kind of friends I want. That's fine. But when you're put in a situation where you do not have people like you and you want to survive and you want to live happily, you need to be able to adapt. And I think my PU college definitely taught me how to adapt. So by the time I finished my PU college and came to my graduation, I think I was a lot more well-rounded. I was a lot more understanding, I was a lot more empathetic, and I was a lot more comfortable with myself, to be honest. So it took me quite a while. I think the only advice you can give is talk to people. Interact with as many people as you can. Understand that you're not alone in this world and you're not the only one going through
Let
those
the guard
struggles.
down, you mean?
Yeah, you just have to. We are social animals, and if we deny the social aspect of ourselves, you are denying yourself a huge part of life.
Makes sense.
You can't live alone. You can't live alone. You need people around you.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about it. Okay, now let's go to engineering. How did that go? Why engineering? A lot of people ask me, even now that I have my own event management thing happening and all of that. All these aunties come up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, you did engineering. Why are you doing this?" I'm like, I did a 4-year degree. I can't remember my 40 years of work life just because I had a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
I will take everything I learned and it's a backup for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But thinking about it, if you had to give me a choice, if you gave me a choice to choose something more creative than technical, I'd go for that. And that's exactly what I did, and I don't regret it. So, how was yours?
This question has been asked to me by almost every single guy
Everybody know?
who comment under my post. Like,
Okay.
what's your background? What's your background? And when I say I'm a mechanical engineer, they're like shocked.
Oh.
They're like, you're a mechanical engineer. How the hell do you like talk about this stuff? And for me, I think after my 12th, I wanted to do something related to physics because I realized that my strong suit in science was physics.
And you're not doing
Yeah, I'm not doing it now, but
anything
no,
else.
but my strong suit was physics. I mean, it was my favorite part of the entire syllabus. I hated chemistry for to be honest. I hated chemistry, but I loved physics. I was a physics guy. So I said, so my dad comes to me and he says, okay, fine. You've done
You're
your
a big on
science.
nerd, no?
Yeah, I was. So I finished my 11th and 12th. My dad comes to me and he says, okay, you're in science, so you're either going to do engineering or you're going to do medical. You clearly did not write NEET, so you don't want to do medical, that's for sure. So engineering you can do. I said, yeah. And I told him, all right, engineering I'm doing, that is in part to satisfy you and that is in part to satisfy society. I understand. It's a pragmatic decision because either way, no matter what you're doing in life, an engineering degree will help you branch out to whatever you want.
And you
That's
learn
not
a
true.
lot more in engineering
Yeah.
when it comes to the kind of people you meet.
Oh, 100%.
The kind of people, they
Yeah.
say, networking is
Yeah,
networking.
100%.
and all of that.
So I remember. So what happened is, because I was unsure of what I wanted to do in my life, I took up engineering. I said, okay, what? Now that I'm in engineering, I'll at least do what I want to do. And I wanted to do mechanical, and I
Makes
stuck to it. But here's the thing, and this is
If
something
not mechanical, which branch do you think?
I wanted to do civil also.
Oh.
Civil. I was always into physics. I was
No,
always
you're not
into
a civil guy.
I'm not a civil guy, no.
You're not a civil guy. Come on.
No, I tell you what. So when I was in third semester, I had this one teacher, Vinod Siarali sir, very good teacher. VCA was
I
his
hope
name.
this video finds him.
I hope it does too. He's an amazing teacher, okay? And he said something to me that I'll never forget, okay? He said, I was sitting in my cabin one day, and one of my old student comes to me. I said,
Old student meaning?
like previous batch.
Oh, church.
Previous batch.
Like your senior.
Yeah, like my super
Okay,
seniors,
okay.
like that kind of person. And he was settled in I think it was in France or Germany, if I'm
Oh,
not wrong, whatever.
okay.
And he has a French wife or a German wife.
Oh.
Not able to get the ethnicity right down.
But you still remember about his wife. I think that's
No,
what you-
because his wife is important to the story.
Okay.
So
Oh.
what happened was, he's sitting in his cabin and he gives a call. I mean, this guy comes and he meets him after a very long time. Okay, and he tells me, like, he's describing the scene to the entire class, and we're all just sitting and intently listening. And he says, "Well, this guy comes into my room." And he just opens the door. He doesn't even say hi to me. He just comes and sits in front of me. Okay. And Papa, his wife, was the one standing at the door and saying, "Sir, can I come in?" Okay. So he said, I could clearly see that he was in over his head. So I wanted to bring him down a little. Okay. So he tells, okay.
Would lectures do that, no?
Oh, yeah, because-
You're
I mean,
there, they drop you like that.
I think it's a very good humiliation ritual because it brings you down.
And it keeps you grounded.
Yeah, it keeps you grounded.
Hey, what I know. What
Yeah.
if I messed up with your attendance,
See.
you wouldn't be here, they would have told me gone on me.
So,
My Bangalore accent is coming sometimes.
dude, I've got that comment like 10,000 times. You speak like a Bangalorean boy. A lot.
What come off there. Come off. Okay, going on.
So this guy walks into the staff room, and he says hello, and he says hello, and he asks, okay, what are you doing? Like, he wants to know more about his life. So he says, yes, sir, I work in I think it was America or somewhere. I work somewhere. I work in this company. As a VC, not as a VC, as a VP, so senior level at a company. So then the question that was posed by VC to this guy was, he asked him, okay, so what's the net worth of your company? And he said some number. He said, oh, it's a small company then. So it was to necessarily prick him, okay? And then he
That
said,
guy goes, I get
no.
really worked up.
He notices it. He twitches a bit and he continues the conversation. And then he starts going off on saying that, sir, but this mechanical engineering degree is useless, right? Like, now that I'm in this company, I don't feel like this degree has come to any use of me and whatever. I don't feel like this degree has come to any use of me, right? And then he says, oh, really? Is that true? And then he says, okay, tell me one. Why do you think they wouldn't have hired you without that degree? And then he said, the reason is because it's not really the subject matter that you're going to take forward in your life necessarily per se, because you won't use it all your life, right? But it's the logics that you use to solve these engineering problems, and those very same logics will come of use to you in whatever you do in your life. Like when you sit in an engineering classroom, I'm a mechanical guy, so let's take the example of strength of materials, because that's what this teacher taught me. We're sitting in and
low-key trying to get into
bro, that subject, it has haunted me so much. Okay?
Oh, God.
It was a tough subject. Okay, and so he says, when you sit down, you sit
Nightmare.
down. Nightmare. You sit down and you solve an entire engineering problem for like 2 pages long, right? You learn so many logics. Okay, you learn how to use your brain. Okay, I could do this. I could think like this. I could think from back problem. I could think from. I could try reverse engineering it. Whatever it is, you think from all these different angles, and it is necessarily this kind of
applied
thinking.
on life as well.
Yeah, this kind of thing that you can apply in life, and it's so true. It is so true, and that's why I feel engineering grads can do anything in their life, because they've absorbed
Anything,
those
bro.
they've
Not
absorbed
even
those problem solving skills. And when I say problem solving, I don't mean like theoretical or like mathematical problem solving. Like in general, like you have a problem, you solve it. There are different ways to solve it. I think engineering definitely gives you that.
Beautiful.
So my engineering. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's not like I didn't enjoy it. Subjects were, of course, not the best, but it was fine. Like I didn't necessarily hate it.
I think my 4 years of engineering was all about. It was never about what I learned inside classroom. It was always what I learned outside the classroom. The kind of people I met, the kind of people I did not meet, and all of that. Oh my God, I think I'll take it to my grave. I swear to God, because different characters. They'll say, no, Rakha, you'll see all kinds of people.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true.
Oh God.
And it's a good thing.
And the classroom, like you said, the more you learn, of course, the logical part and all is there. You learn how to live your life. The engineering is like a mini society. All this while, school, you've been, kept in like a
closed environment.
Yeah, and it's so safe for you. And then the same thing with 11th and 12th is like a different thing altogether, because your newfound freedom, you're trying to figure out who you are and all that. You come out of your insecurities, you get more insecurities. But engineering is when you're getting into the adulthood. And
I like to think of university time as like a video game. And what I mean by that is,
it went so quick though.
Yeah, it went very quick. But what I mean when I say it's a video game is like it's a simulation of your real life. The only difference is you can fail here and you can restart. You can pause the game, you can restart the game, you can try again, you can try with a different controller, you can try something else, you can switch courses, whatever. But this is the one period in your life where you're allowed to fail, and I would almost say promoted to fail. Like you should fail. If you don't fail now, then failing in your real life becomes very difficult, right? So I think engineering is like a video game.
It kind of tunes you to life. It kind
so
of tunes
for me, I always saw university as like a video game. Like, okay, even if I do fail in my life, this is the time to fail. Like I wish I fail now, because if I don't fail now, and tomorrow I have to face failure in my life. When I say failure, When I say failure, I don't mean like failing your subjects. I'm not talking about that.
Let's make that clear.
I'm not talking like I'm not saying
cool. Failing subjects is not cool.
I'm not saying go fail your subjects. All I'm saying is, like in life, whatever you're trying to pursue, it's okay if it doesn't work out, because this is the time. Because in the future, it takes real money, it takes real investment, it takes a lot of your time. You're devoting a good part of your life, and you don't get that restart option in life.
And it's not easy also. Oh my God, it's not. And talking of college, I was always this fest, all this extracurricular kind of a person. What were you like? I mean, I know, and I just want people to know. So
I think I was a fairly balanced person. I focused on my studies when it was required, and I also focused on my extracurriculars, because I'm not somebody who could get through in engineering without extracurricular activities. I was into debating. We had MUN Society, Model UN Society.
So much fun we had.
Oh yeah, amazing.
So many stories we had there.
If I tell that story now,
no, let's not go there. Yeah.
So I think in a way. Engineering was fairly balanced. I was a very fairly balanced person. I had my fun. I was serious when it was required, and I think I don't regret anything about my engineering. As much as the amount of nonsense has happened in my engineering, I don't regret it.
You will be regretting it, and once you pass out of engineering, you're like, oh my God, what was this? For few people, I've heard people tell me stories like, I don't know, but once you get to actual engineering, get out of actual engineering, you face life. You're like, oh, that was a cakewalk, and talking about attendance, talking about engineering, bro, I had like so much attendance. I also don't know how I got so much, bro. Only because of extracurricular. I was a part of this club, and teachers would be surprised when I walked into class. I'm not even kidding. So
My attendance was like you can't talk about it, dude. Like literally, I tell you how it was. I think I was the king of procrastination back in engineering. So I'll give you a rundown of my day, probably in my 7th or 8th semester.
I would be
Yeah.
our group.
You're probably in the group. So I was like, I just did not give a shit because say I'd come to college at around 9. Okay, class starts by 8:30. I come to college by 9. I'm like, see, I'm already late to class. If I walk in now, the teacher will simply yell at me. Why don't I just sit here for this class and the next class I'll go. So then I'm talking to my friend.
And then
next
it'll be
class,
10 minutes late.
10 minutes later,
You
like,
don't go and
okay.
it's
Then I'm
over.
like, okay, good, I'll be in short break. So I sit there, after short break, I'll go to class. Then I'm like, see, in short break, I'm already here.
Anyway, it's over.
Anyway, it's
2 day
over.
classes,
So I
nobody
just bunk the
attended. Entire class. The problem was that I have that flow problem, okay? If I go sit off in class, next class. The minute I
It's
get
not a
distracted-
flow problem, it's a procrastination problem.
No, see, I go morning, I reach college. If I reach on time, I'll go to class. If I don't go to class, I won't attend my class. Somehow the other thing
You're
will
finding
come up.
excuses, that's all. But again, that's the thing. See, in engineering, you can find those excuses, or in college, you can find those excuses.
Yeah, it was
Like when
such
you're, I think for me, I had a small stint at corporate after my
Same.
college. So
Makes
in that small stint, like I realized, like I can't bunk anymore.
No,
I can't bunk anymore.
that got me so depressed. I'm telling you, I was like, shit. If I what to do now? I don't know what to do. You won't have work. Even if you don't have work, you have to go sit on the desk.
Yeah.
It took a mental toll on me.
For me, for me, it was a learning curve. But yeah, I had during that
was like,
small
what's
stint.
the point of
during
life?
during that small stint of corporate, I realized that the world. That's when I realized that.
privileged.
Yeah, I think that engineering or university is essentially your time. I mean, if you have the privilege to do it, then yes, it's your time to fail. It's your time to have fun. Because after this one time period in your life, things are going to get serious. You're like a real adult. And for me, it took a lot of acceptance to come out and say, yes, I'm a real adult now.
Nice. Coming to that work part. So now we're done with college. Coming to that work part, what was it about? If it was it technical or
So I was in sales. I was in sales.
Yeah.
I was in sales, and I'm not going to take the name of the company, but yeah, I was in sales.
How was it? Was it bad?
It was not. It was. I would say it was a fairly positive experience because I learned a lot. And again, I don't like to look at anything in my life and say that was a bad thing because even
No, I
from
will look at my life and say, no, this shouldn't have been there. Hopefully, I will say.
I mean, I think I'm a lot more optimistic that way because I feel like those bad things happened to me for a reason.
If I could cut my life, kick it out. I'll do it all. I'm not being modest. Lesson, no, it's okay. Don't want. Who wants that lesson? You keep listening.
I think the problem for me is if I did that with my life, I think I'll have to flick out a lot of a good chunk of my life. So I don't look at it that way. I just look at it
It's
like
a mixture for you.
Yeah, I just look at it like okay, fine. I'm glad it happened to me then because if it's happening to me now, then at least I'll be able to face it and handle it. So I'm glad it happened to me then. And I think that my corporate stint gave me a lot of learning curve. I understood how the real world work, how serious things
White
are.
walls and the setup, the typical corporate setup is not favoring ADHD people at all. Because it's so
I would take it a step further. I
understimulated.
don't think it's not just favoring people with ADHD. I think it's not favoring anyone in general.
Okay.
Like that is not an environment where humans are supposed to sit and work for 8 hours a day. In my opinion, people are supposed to move around. You are supposed to explore. You're born to explore. This world is so beautiful. You are born to explore. When you lock yourself in a room for 8 hours a day, it's not going to get you anything. And I know this sounds so privileged, and it probably is because for a lot of people, getting that job itself is a huge dream. So to all those guys, yes, I understand. But if you have the privilege, use it, please. If you have the privilege to do something else with your life, where it involves traveling, where it involves meeting new people, please do it. Because that is how humanity grows, and we should be in a position where, like in my opinion, like in that we think about it, probably ancient times had a lot of injustices, yes, but at least people were freer. You know, my favorite meme on the internet is actually that one meme where this ape is saying, "You guys are paying taxes to live on Earth." Like, are you guys serious?
And we're buying water.
Yeah, you're buying water. Like, come on, it's supposed to be a natural resource.
Say? Like all that evolution for this? Seriously?
It sounds so idealistic. So
commercial.
It sounds idealistic, it sounds commercial, but that's the reality that we live in today. So within this lived reality, let us try to be as human as possible, more than machine-like. We live in this very bureaucratic, managerial world, right? A lot of things are being treated like that, trying to be solved like that. But the approach is not from a human approach. And I think that a lot of people should really develop that human approach before anything. That can solve a lot of issues.
That's cool. That's actually cool. But yeah, I can't sit in a place.
Yeah.
Even when we're talking now, I have so many things that I have to ask you. By the time you come to the last bit, I forget. ADHD problems this year, seriously. So yeah, talking about all of this, you have this initiative that is happening now, that is the Nationalist Front.
Yeah.
What is that about?
So in all my videos and all my reels and stuff, I put one logo in the corner called as it's a logo. It's the India flag with a thunder on it, and it's called as the Nationalist Front. So the Nationalist Front is a blog, is an online blog of all nationalist voices in India. So again, as I said from the beginning, my inclination is not right, not left. It is simply for the nation, for our people. If something is objectively good for my people, I will support it. That is my definition of nationalism. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that's patriotism and that's not nationalism. There's a big difference, right? You say patriotism and you say, okay, well, I love my country. Nationalism is when you say, I favor my country over every other countries. But let me ask you a question. Can you have two husbands? Can you have two wives? No. You're going to love one person. You have only one mother. You can't have multiple mothers, right? Similarly, I view my country as the only thing that I can love. I will always favor my country over any other country. So this kind of thinking, this kind of objective thinking, what's good for your country, what isn't good for your country, is what the Nationalist Front is. They're an online blog. I'm still trying to get in more creators to this organization. Right now, I'm contributing all of my videos to this blog because I want this to grow. If this is a long haul, this is not a short haul. I'm not in this to make money. I'm not in this to make a buck. Because if I wanted to, I could have. I would have sold my soul. But I'm not in this to make a buck. I'm in this because I genuinely believe in what I'm doing, and we need more people like that. And if you are somebody like that, you're always welcome to join. You're always welcome to come. My DMs are always open. Just hit me up and let's see how we can collaborate. That is what the Nationalist Front is. We actually launched many campaigns. One of the first campaigns I've ever launched. We had an offline meeting in Bangalore, by the way. Like around 40 people came.
Awesome.
Amazing event. Here are some pictures. Amazing event. And one of the very first initiatives that we're doing is that we want to develop the idea of civic sense in people. Okay, so let's say, for example, we walked on the road, there's a dustbin right there. Our first instinct, unfortunately, as Indians, is to just discard waste on the side, even though there's a dustbin there. The reason is because we don't know that somebody has to come and pick that up. And you need to start to document the sanitation worker's life and ask them, what can we do to make your job easier? The minute you humanize these people, I think people will become a lot more aware that whenever you throw something on the ground, it's not just going to stay there. Somebody will come and pick it up. So let's make their life easier. Have a bit of empathy for these people, right? That is the idea of our first campaign. I already have a couple of videos out. So if you are interested to join this campaign, what you can do is go to your nearby sanitation worker, get the phone up to them and record them with the question and ask them only 3 questions. Number 1, what is your name? Where are you from? Number 2, what is the hardest part about your job? And number 3, if you could give one advice to us citizens that could make your job easier, that could make our country cleaner, what would it be? If you ask these 3 questions and record it, hit me up with a collab request. I will definitely accept it instantly. So if you want a small break, if you want to be exposed to my followers, definitely you can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I am pretty sure a lot of people will be open to this idea. And yeah, civic sense is not that common. Like how common sense is a little bit more rare. Civic sense is also a lot rarer than we think it is. Speaking of posting regularly, you're on the media all the time, and is it draining?
It was draining initially. When I had my first viral video, when I had my first viral video, it was very draining because I was looking at every single comment. I was trying to respond. A lot of criticisms came my way, and I was very conscious.
Were you affected by the negative?
Initially I was, because my very first time I blew up, right? I didn't know how to handle it. But I think now I've reached a stage where I've just accepted it and say, you know what? I know my opinions. I've researched them well. There's nothing that I'm saying is factually wrong. Anybody with a Google search can go search my opinions, unless and until I see a comment that is genuinely a good-hearted. As I was saying, if there's a genuinely good-hearted criticism in my comment section, I actually pin those comments because I want people to see those comment sections. But now they talk about funny comments. There is one guy in my comment section all the time. Okay, no matter what video I post, no matter what I say, no matter what opinion I have, he comes down and he shits about France in my comment section. Okay, he comes and says delete France for some reason. Every single post. It's so funny. Okay, there's actually a bit of history to France, like why people hate on France and French people for some reason. One of the funniest criticisms of France is that during any war, World War One, World War Two, also France was one of the first countries to surrender. Okay, and literally, so like let's say there's a reel about Iran-Israel war. And some guy comments, France surrendered, okay? Like France surrendered, even though it's not in the war. Because it's a thing, like to insult France. But it's a joke, so it's a funny joke.
Let's underline the part, it's a
funny
joke. Jokes. We're just making
Like
jokes.
France surrendered because Iran-Israel war is happening.